Hello and welcome. This is Elder Stephen Paul Dunphy, and I want you to feel comfortable listening to this music and make it. It's available. You can find it on Stephen Paul Dunphy YouTube. We mix with whatever food. That's good. Good. We'll mix. Now let's get into our theme. Our theme today is the theme of missionary work. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 of Corinthians said, garbage men, refuge of the earth. I thought they were the big important guys. Well, what is foolish is wise, and wise is foolish. The first will be last, last will be first. But let's talk about this subject and what it means. When we say the word missionary, it's an English word. It means sent one. So it's not really the Bible word. The Bible word is apostle. Well, there's different kinds of sent ones. It's sent from the church, the local church. There might be some kids going to a foreign country. They might preach a little salvation, maybe a little Bible, give some food, do some good things, and they're doing it on a lower scale. But the gifts are important to confirm it. So Moses had tremendous gifts. He was a shalach. He wasn't just a prophet. He was a man that could do more than see into the spiritual realm. Moses could take and deliver signs. So Paul said, do I not have these signs that I am from God? But it's more than that. They have a special love. They have to walk in holiness. A lot of qualifications that bring them. They don't just walk right into that office. They grow into that. Remember, they had to grow from disciples into apostles. And as they did so, then God anointed them through Jesus Christ while he was on earth. Now, one of the important things to recognize is that Jesus, Yeshua in Hebrew, Isaiah 53, is a man full of sorrows, and there was a persecution. I guess God just makes sure that if they're going to be so great, they make sure that it is not them, that it's Christ Jesus. Now, there is differences of signs. We have the tongues, the interpretation of tongues, prophecy. And those are gifts that have to do with more vocal gifts, tongue gifts. And then you have those gifts that are more discerning and wisdom. Discernment of spirit, word of knowledge, word of wisdom. And then there's the power gifts, like miracles, faith, and healings. These are all according to 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Now, as I'm speaking about all these gifts, still, the example of love is the greatest thing. So God has elected those with a good heart and are faithful to have these type of things. Now, they say, well, this existed with the 12 apostles, and perhaps there were the great patriarchs, and they definitely were more than prophets, and they had signs and wonders like David and Elijah and so forth. It was the 12 apostles of the Lord. That's unquestionable. But then, what about Paul? Well, Paul had gifts, and he saw Jesus indirectly. He saw him in a dream, a vision, things like that. But then what about others? Cephas and Timothy and Titus. Paul addresses them as fellow workers, fellow servants. Sometimes even the word angel or messenger of God is used. Now, as we continue to look at this subject, we notice that it's being misused. Just because you have one church makes you a pastor, and 2 makes you an elder, and then 3 makes you a bishop, and I guess 4 would make you an apostle. Well, yeah, if it's in the same area, you might be a bishop, but it doesn't make you an apostle. Apostles are usually sent, and they're sent in a basis by the Lord to do one of 5 things. Either on the first level, they make churches with signs and wonders. Second level, they more evangelize and do miracles and signs and wonders to get people saved as a primary thing. And they may also establish church, but they're doing it at an evangelical level. And this is done as an operation, usually away from home, because they are sent to make more churches and to bring evangelism. There may be another level, a 3-star, so to speak, apostle, and he's called to teach the doctrine of Christ throughout another area, another region, to expand the gospel. Remember, first in Jerusalem, then Samaria, then to the ends of the earth. So there's another area that we would say is prophetic. So a lot of dreams, visions, and revelations taking place. And then there's the administrative apostle who's really set over the great revelation onto a great area. So one might, we follow through with the revelations where it talks every tongue sent to the people of a tongue, sent to the people of a tribe, that's a bigger, or sent to a people, a nation like Nigeria, or to a people like Africa. It's a different level. And so correspondingly, the ones sent will have the signs and wonders. In my particular case, there's 9,000 tribes out there, and I only speak those languages, dances, hand sign languages that belong to those that were made covenant with the Jewish people or Hebrew people at various times, such as Hebrew making connection with Aztec, with Mayan, with the original patriarchal family from the time of Noah, where we have Ashkenaz and Togarmah, and I speak those languages, dances, hand sign language. I won't get into all that. So it shows that I have a spiritual call to them. But Paul also says I speak in tongues more than you all because he's praying for all of them. Remember, the church is prayer, teaching, and evangelism. Now, each thing must be divided up carefully into the offices listed in 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and in Ephesians chapter 4. It'll also be divided up into operations. So that's why Jesus said, well, the operations, I'm not going to bring wisdom or understanding. I'm going to bring the Spirit of the Lord. It's very specific. In this case, the specific operation has to do with gifts that have to do with the outer court of the temple, because it's an extension of the future kingdom of the millennium. A lot of detail in this, in my particular case, but that doesn't mean that I have authority over other tribes. I only have authority and power given by Christ to speak and to be responsible. But there's a parallel thing going on in the spiritual realm where there are angels working for me, and we sing and dance with angels, but there are also angels working against from Satan. So it's a spiritual battle. That's why I say it's like a general. General, first star, second star, third star, fourth star, fifth star. Paul was like a 5-star general. Martin Luther might be considered that. And a 5-star general is actually an elder in heaven of the very elect. So it's kind of rare. And it says, are all apostles? Well, of course not. It's very rare. It's the top of the pyramid. But does that mean they're anything? No, it's just a gift. It's just a gift. And you're judged upon your faithfulness. Wonderful things being done in the nature of the apostle, but we need them all. We need apostles, we need the intercessoring spiritual prophets, we need the teachers of doctrine, we need the evangelists who bring out miracles and bring people to the Lord, and then we need certainly pastors. So you have more pastors than you do evangelists, and more evangelists and teachers, and more teachers than you do prophets, and more prophets than you do apostles. So it's fairly rare. So a lot could be said about the cumulative number of this operation of apostles throughout the earth and throughout the Christian age in particular, but I would estimate that there are probably, of these altogether, maybe 12,000, something like that. And the entire number of the apostles and prophets combination might be about 144,000, because it's an order of prophets called apart for special ministry. That doesn't mean that they're any more saved, because salvation is a totally different thing. We're talking about the operation of the church for the edification of the saints. A lot of questions have to be taken individually on the concept of what is an apostle, the type of gifts he operates with, to whom he is called. And of course one might say, well, doesn't he go to a local church? Why not? He's a human being. He's a type of sheep that needs to go to a church and be under pastoral authority for his natural self. But it is also true that there's a confirmation that he's of good moral character and should be sent out to do the work, where he is sent out to bring forth more churches, and not just the local church as a denomination, but to edify the body, to keep strong doctrine, to manifest the gifts of God, and to continue with the divine revelation of the church until Christ Jesus comes. One day this will all be done. It's not going to come anytime soon. There'll be a continual edification even in the millennium kingdom. So continual need for this whole 12-fold. More than just pastors and prophets and so forth. There's also Romans chapter 7, and it talks about ministry gifts in the church of exhortation and ministry and helps and so forth. There are other gifts besides the fivefold ministry, but I'm focusing on the fivefold ministry and the work of the apostle. Now, you'll say, well, that it doesn't exist anymore. Well, Ephesians chapter 4, you have to read that very carefully. You'll see, until we come into the perfection of the saints, there will be deception if we don't have it. And of course we don't. We don't operate except in certain foreign fields in certain areas. The Pope actually takes on the Roman people and is called to the Roman people. Whether he does it correct or not, that's another story. But it is a genuine office. But so is the Apostle of the Greeks and the Anglican. Now, whether they do it correctly or not, there is someone anointed to be that, and whether they operate in that or not, that's another question. Judas was an apostle. He didn't step into it. Very interesting information. I would like to definitely have questions about this, because I'm sure a lot of people are not familiar. I was trained under Kenneth Hagin, and I believe he had some revelation from God about the ministry of the apostle. But there's much more to be explained, how it works, and the nature of everything from abstaining from foods to the nature of ministering to the saints and uplifting the churches, churches that are yours and churches to smart to their others, other things in keeping the unity of the faith and the unity of the body. Well, again, my name is Stephen Paul Dunphy, and we'll see again, this is January 5th, 2017, on the teachings of truth and love.